Hey everyone, I'm Tony. So, following on from yesterday's video where the top 7 Premier League teams went head to head in a league of their own, in today's FIFA experiment I'm going to do a test to see what would happen in a Premier League without the top 7. So these are the 13 teams currently in 8th to 20th in the Premier League, as you can see on your screen there. Now, similar to yesterday's video, each team will play each other twice and I'll simulate the matches to see who FIFA thinks will come out on top. So as there's more matches than yesterday, I'm going to get the season up and running and simulate what would be Leicester's first 6 games. So let's do that there. Whilst that's simulating, I'm going to make a prediction for this video. And I think Leicester will return to their title winning ways. I think Southampton will finish 2nd. And I'm going to go for Stoke 3rd. At the bottom, I think Sunderland and Middlesbrough might struggle as they are in the Premier League. And I think Hull might join them in the bottom 3 as well. But let's see who FIFA thinks will come out on top, and who in turn will avoid finishing towards the bottom end of the table. So that's the first 6 games for Leicester. Some teams will have played 7. Similar to yesterday's video, there is an odd number of teams in the league. So this is the opening matches then, and there you go, Leicester off to a cracking start. 5 wins from their opening 6 games on 15 points. West Ham in 2nd on 14, close by. Bit of a gap down to Burnley, who are in 3rd on 11 points. Southampton, Stoke on 10 points apiece. West Brom on 9 and Watford on 8. Towards the bottom end of the table, Hull, Crystal Palace and Bournemouth all on 7 points so far. Sunderland on 6 points, Swansea City on 6 points as well. Middlesbrough currently bottom of the table with 2 points. So far my prediction is not too far off, although Burnley are quite a bit further up than I was expecting. But good start for them. Right, let's simulate the next 3 matches now, just to see how that affects the table. So here we go. I'll go through the results of these next 3 games just to see what is happening for each team. Simulation's up to date. So here we go. Let's look at this match day here. So Crystal Palace hold Bournemouth to a 0-0 draw. Hull pick up a good win against West Ham, winning 1-0. Another good win for Leicester, beating West Brom 2-1, keeping their lead at the top. Middlesbrough beat Watford 2-0. Southampton hold Swansea City to a 2-2 draw. And Stoke beat Sunderland by 2-0. Have a look at our next match day. Bournemouth beaten at home by Burnley, another good result for Burnley towards the top end of the table. Sunderland and Southampton play out a 1-1 draw. Swansea City beat Middlesbrough by 2-0. It's another win for Leicester, really impressive performance. West Brom beaten Hull by 1-0, and West Ham beat Crystal Palace by 3-1. And our final match of these fixtures, Burnley beaten by West Ham by 1-0. Crystal Palace beat West Brom by 2-1. Hull lose at home to Watford by 3-2 in what looks like a very entertaining game. Leicester beaten at last by Swansea City by 1-0. Borough lose by the same scoreline at home to Sunderland. And Southampton also losing at home to Stoke City by 2-1. So let's go back to our table then. Still Leicester at the top, but West Ham keeping close by, just a point behind. Stoke up in 3rd on 16 points. Burnley in 4th on 14. Swansea City 13, Southampton and West Brom 12 points apiece. A lot of draws for Southampton. They've only lost twice but have drawn 6 of their 10 games. Crystal Palace on 11, Watford on 11. Hull struggling towards the bottom of the table along with Sunderland, Bournemouth and Middlesbrough. Right, let's simulate another 3 match days, which should get us towards the halfway mark of the table. Now view the fixture, want to simulate to it. Can Leicester maintain their league at the top, or will West Ham start to catch them? Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. The Stoke City and Middlesbrough play out a 1-1 draw. Sunderland hold Leicester to a 0-0 draw. That's a good result for West Ham, as you can see at the bottom there. They're a 1-0 winners over Bournemouth. Swansea beat Hull City by 2-0. Watford beat Palace by 3-1. And West Brom picked up a good win, beating Burnley 2-1. Leicester bounced back though with a big win against Stoke City, winning 3-0. Looks like there's no game for West Ham in this one, so that will help Leicester for now. Bournemouth beaten by West Brom by 2-1. Burnley and Watford play out a 1-1 draw. Crystal Palace and Swansea City a 0-0 draw there. Hull City 2, Sunderland 1, and Middlesbrough 1, Southampton 1. And what will be match day 12 for Leicester? It's a 1-1 draw at St Mary's. Stoke City 0, Hull City 1. Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1. Swansea City 1, Burnley 1. Watford 2, Bournemouth 2. And a good win for West Ham away from home, beating West Brom 2-1 at the Hawthorns. So a couple of good results for West Ham there. Does put them top of the table. Now all teams have played 12, so they're all level now. And West Ham are only top courtesy of the fact that they scored 2 more than Leicester. So really, really close to the top. Those two look like running away with it. Swansea City in 3rd on 18 points. West Brom 4th on 18 points as well. Stoke also going well with 17. Burnley 6th with 16. Hull City in the middle of the table, 16 points as well. And Watford on 16. Southampton, look at that, only 2 defeats in 12 games, but 8 draws. Sees them struggling towards the bottom end of the table on 14. That is a bit surprising. I was actually expecting them to be a bit higher than that. Crystal Palace, also struggling, 13 points for them. The bottom 3, Sunderland on 12 points. Bournemouth and Middlesbrough have only won 1 game each and separated by 2 points. So, in the second half of the season, can they turn that around? Can West Ham and Leicester be caught? Or will it be a 2-horse race for the title? Let's see. Before we look at the next games, let's have a look at the top goal scorers. And as you can see, a whole host of players on 5. We've got Ledley, Montero, Barnes, Lanzini, Gray, Wilson and Chadley all on 5. Arnautovic, Mason, Antonio, Torre and Fisher all have 4. In the assists, Musa leads the way for Leicester with 6. Troy Deeney has 5 for Watford. Rodriguez, Rondon and Cook all have 3 and a whole host of players on 2. Clean sheets, Hull and Swansea City have the most there with 4. Marshall and Fabianski going well. And in the red cards, quite a few red cards so far, up to 8. Let's see how all of that impacts the second half of the season. So, we want to simulate another 3 match days. Be interesting to see if Leicester or West Ham get caught. I'm not so sure they will. I think they've opened up quite a gap there. But let's have a look what happened. So, we want that match day there. So, Leicester beaten by Bournemouth though this time by a 1-0. West Ham were winners though, beating Middlesbrough by 1-0. That would have put them 3 points clear. In the other games, Burnley beat Hull City by 2-0. Burnley going well still. Swansea City and Sunderland play out a 1-1 draw. Watford beat Stoke City by 0-0. West Brom beaten by Southampton by 0-0. Southampton picking up a much needed win as they try to climb the table. Another defeat for Leicester, being beaten by Burnley by 2-1. Hull City beaten at home by Crystal Palace by 2-0. Middlesbrough and Bournemouth play out a 1-1 draw. West Ham also beaten, so it still remains close at the top. 2 wins in a row for Southampton, beating them 2-1. Stoke City 1, West Brom 0, and Sunderland 1, Watford 1. Quite a lot of the games have had quite a lot of close results. Let's have a look at this match day. Bournemouth 1, Southampton 1, Burnley 2, Middlesbrough 2, Leicester City back to winning ways, winning 2-1, but unfortunately for them, sober West Ham beating Stoke City by a 0-0. Watford 1, Swansea City 1, and West Brom 1, Sunderland 1. So, let's have another look at our table. After 15 match days for most teams, West Ham lead the way 3 points clear of Leicester, but it is still very close. Burnley in 3rd on 23 points, close by to the top 2, but we need to keep winning to keep up the pressure. Southampton now up to 4th on 21 points. Watford on 5th also on 21 points. Swansea City on 20 and Stoke in exactly the middle of the table there with 20 points. In the bottom half, West Brom on 19 points, Crystal Palace and Hull on 16. Sunderland remain 11th on 15 points. Bournemouth now up to 14 points, open up quite a bit of a gap to Middlesbrough, who's at bottom of the table on 9 points. West Brom there, as you can see, have scored the least amount of goals with just 13. West Ham scored the most on 23. Middlesbrough have conceded the most on 22. And the best defences, well, that's split between 3 teams, West Ham, Leicester and West Brom, all conceded only 14 goals. So, getting very interesting. Can Burnley sneak their way into the title race? Or will it just be between Leicester and West Ham? What of Southampton as well? Can they keep up their good form? So here we go, the next 3 crucial match days. It's a 2-1 win for Leicester against Hull, a good win for them. But as you can see, West Ham picking up another win, beating Sunderland by a 0-0. Middlesbrough 1, Crystal Palace 1. Southampton beat Burnley 2-1 in the battle of the 2 teams trying to catch the top 2. Stoke City beat Bournemouth by 2-0. Sunderland beaten by West Ham by a 0-0 as we mentioned. And Swansea City 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Leicester City held to a 0-0 draw in their next match day against Middlesbrough. Southampton picked up another win, beating Hull 2-1. Stoke beaten by Crystal Palace by a 0-0. Sunderland 2, Burnley 0. Burnley starting to lose a couple there, losing touch with the leaders. Swansea City 1, Bournemouth 2. And another good away win for West Ham, beating Watford by a goal to 0 there. And finally, in our next 3 match days here, Stoke City 2, Southampton 2, Sunderland 2, Middlesbrough 2. It's another really good away win for Leicester, beating Swansea 2-0. Watford held by Hull City, to a 1-1 draw. Crystal Palace beat West Brom 2-1, and West Ham beat Burnley 2-1. 3 defeats in a row, I think that is for Burnley. West Ham and Leicester keep winning. Southampton held to a draw, meaning the top 2 should have opened up a bit more of a gap. And as you can see, they have. It's 6 points clear for West Ham. Leicester, though, do have a game in hand, but they can only go within 3 points. Look at Southampton's record. 10 draws from 19 games. They've only lost 3, but only 6 wins. 28 points, 14 points off the leaders. Doesn't look like they're going to be caught now, the top 2. Crystal Palace actually have a game in hand on Southampton and can leapfrog them with that. Burnley still in the top 5 despite a poor run of results. Still a pretty good season for them. Stoke City on 24 points. Watford now in the middle of the table on 23. West Brom still in the bottom half, 23 points also. Swansea City just 21 points for them. Look at Sunderland as well, 11 draws in their 19 games, but only 3 wins means they're on 20 points. Can they avoid finishing in the bottom 3? Well, as it stands, they're 2 points clear of Hull City and Bournemouth. Middlesbrough remain bottom, just the 1 win with 13 points. Can they bounce back? Can they pick up some more wins and avoid finishing in the bottom 3? Well, let's have a look and simulate the next 3 match days. Will West Ham start to run away with it? As you can see, Leicester and West Ham is one of the match days there. Let's have a look see what happened. Burnley beaten again, this time by Bournemouth by 2-1. Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 1. Hull City beaten at home by West Brom by a 0-0. Leicester 1, Watford 1, Middlesbrough 1, Swansea 2, and Southampton 0, Sunderland 1. So where West Ham slip up, Leicester City can't catch them though. They can't make ground on them. Drawing 1-1 as well. Another defeat for Southampton means looks like they are completely out of the running. Bournemouth pick up a good win against Crystal Palace there, 2-0. Sunderland beaten at home by Stoke by 2-1. Good win for Southampton, bouncing back, beating bottom half team Swansea City by 3-2. Watford 1, Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 1, Leicester 1, and West Ham 1, Hull City 1. So again, Leicester City failed to make up ground on West Ham. But this next match day is crucial for the title race. And predictably, of course, Leicester City and West Ham finished 1-1. So, 3 draws in a row for the top 2 sides. No changes for them both. Crystal Palace 3-0 winners over Burnley. Good win for them. Hull City beaten at home by Bournemouth by 2-0. Middlesbrough beaten West Brom by 2-1. Draw specialist Southampton held by Watford to a 1-1 draw. And Stoke City pick up a good 2-0 win against Swansea City. So we're getting towards the end of our league season. Only 2 match days left for some, 3 left for the ones on 21 games. And West Ham still maintain their lead. They are 6 points clear. Leicester City can only get 9 more. So if West Ham pick up 4 more points from the last 2 games, they will be the champions of the prestigious Premier League with no top 7 league. Southampton in third on 32 points. 11 draws and they drawn half of their matches. Sees them in third. Crystal Palace, though, again have a game in hand on Southampton. They're on 30 points, as do Stoke on 30. Can those 2 break into the top 3? West Brom break into the top half of the table there on 27 points. Bournemouth, mid-table, 27 points for them. In the bottom half, Watford on 26. Burnley also on 26. Swansea City on 24. Those 3 will look to avoid finishing in the bottom 3. Sunderland have a chance of escaping the bottom 3. Only a -1 goal difference for them as well. Hull City will need to win their last 3 matches to have a chance on 19 points. And Middlesbrough, which is 17 points, will finish in the bottom 3 of this experiment. Let's have a look at our top goal scorers. As you can see, Gray leads the way on 10. Ledley and Antonio both have 9. Wilson has 8. And then Jermaine Defoe is on 7. Troy Deeney and Musa lead the way on the assists with 6. Toure for West Ham with 5. And a whole host of players on 4 and 3. Clean sheets, West Ham top of the table. Well, they kept 7 clean sheets along the way to look like they're winning the title. Foster with 5 is in second. Jan, Matt and Cook have the most yellow cards. And in our red cards, just 9. Right. So let's keep going. Let's simulate the next 2 match days just to see where that leaves us in the table. Should be 1 more match day left there. There is. Big game for Leicester, and they've been held by Southampton to a 1-1 draw. However, West Ham beaten by West Brom there at home by a goal to nil. Is it still alive? Can Leicester catch West Ham in the last few games? In the other games, Bournemouth beaten by Watford by 2 goals to nil. Burnley 1, Swansea City 2, Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 2, and Hull City there beaten by Stoke by 2 goals to nil. And looking at the second to last match day, Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 2, really good result for Middlesbrough, looking to end the campaign on a high. Leicester though, there you can see, beaten by Stoke City, that might just make West Ham champions. Sunderland beaten by Hull City by a goal to nil. Swansea and Crystal Palace play out a 0-0 draw. Watford beat Burnley by 2 goals to 1, and West Brom 2-0 winners over Bournemouth. So before our final match day then, let's have a look at the table. And as you can see, West Ham will end up champions on 45 points. They're 5 points clear of Leicester. It was close throughout the whole thing, but Leicester couldn't quite keep up with them. But Leicester will finish second. Stoke City will be unable to catch them. Looks like Stoke are set for a top 3 finish, which is very impressive for them. Southampton looks set to finish 4th, although they can be overtaken by West Brom, Watford and Crystal Palace if results go their way of the chasing pack. Swansea City on 28 points, Bournemouth on 27, Sunderland on 26 and Burnley on 26. So if we were to take the bottom 3 as being the relegation places, Swansea, Bournemouth, Sunderland and Burnley will all battle it out in the final match day to avoid finishing in the bottom 3. Hull City looks set to finish 12th, although Middlesbrough, with a little bit of a decent run of form in the last few matches, could still catch them. So let's see how the final match day affected the league table. I will simulate past the match day and we'll have a look at the league table straight away. There we go, season complete. Let's have a look at the table. So West Ham did end up finishing 5 points clear on 48 points. Really good season for them. Leicester City second on 43 points. Really good season, but just didn't quite have enough to keep pace with West Ham. Stoke City did finish third, looking at 36 points. Didn't go great for Southampton. West Brom and Watford picking up wins, pushing Southampton down to 6th. Top 5 finishes for West Brom and Watford though, really impressive. Crystal Palace finished exactly mid-table there in 7th on 31 points. In the bottom half, Swansea City on 28 points, Bournemouth on 27 points. Sunderland finished 10th in the end on 26 points, avoid finishing in the bottom 3. And look at that for Burnley. They were up in the top 3 at the start of the season, but a very disappointing second half of the season sees them finishing in the bottom 3. Hull City did finish 12th on 25 points, Middlesbrough there on 23 points. And it was pretty close there, look at that at the bottom. 6 teams there, just separated by 5 points. West Ham though, top. They are our champions of this FIFA experiment. Before we go, let's have a quick look at the last set of results actually, just to see what happened there. And as you can see, there they are. So Bournemouth were beaten by West Ham by 2 goals to nil. Burnley beaten by West Brom by the same scoreline there to ensure that they finished in the bottom 3. Crystal Palace beaten by Watford by 2 goals to 1, so Watford's win there enabled them to finish in the top 5. Hull City beaten Swansea by 2 goals to 1, that would have helped them to avoid finishing bottom. Leicester City 2-0 winners over Sunderland, whilst Middlesbrough picked up a good final day win against Stoke. Let's have a look at how the top goal scorers, the assists and the clean sheets affected our league table. I'm just going to that now. And look at that, despite having the top goal scorer in the league, Burnley still finished in the bottom 3. Gray there with 10, Ledley for Crystal Palace on 9, goals for Antonio for West Ham helping them to the top, and look at that, Lanzini and Torre further down your list there with 6 goals apiece. Defoe for Sunderland with 8, Wilson also with 8 and Deeney with 7. Sigurdsson and Rondon also had the same tally. Interestingly for Leicester, their top goal scorer was Mark Albrighton there with 6. And if you go down, Slimani had 6 as well. So the top team's not having as many of the top goal scorers there as well. If you look for Southampton's goal scorers, you'd have to go quite a bit down the table there to see Buffon with 6 and the most there. For the assists, Deeney and Musa did end up top with 6 apiece. Phillips and Rondon both with West Brom with 5, and Torre for West Ham with 5 as well. Clean sheets, well look at that, West Brom, Foster with 8 and Adrian with 8 for West Ham as well. Jack Batland for Stoke managed 6. In our yellow cards, Jan, Matt and Cook led the way with 5 apiece. And we ended up with double figures red cards with 10 there. Hull City getting 2 along with Stoke, both having 2 players sent off. So there we have it in this experiment with the Premier League teams without the top 7 teams in the league. West Ham are our champions. Leicester finished second. Stoke finished third. I really thought Leicester would have won this and Southampton would have finished higher. But there we go, West Ham won it. And as for the bottom, I was expecting Sunderland and Middlesbrough to struggle most. And as you can see, they did a bit there. Hull and Burnley also finishing towards the bottom end. But we'll leave our video there for now. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. In future videos, I'll be doing more FIFA experiments. But if you liked the video, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. And let me know if there are any experiments that you would like to see.